All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm Judge Justin. We're going to go ahead and get started here. This is the Lorcana Beehive, episode 1 of the Lore Lowdown. This is going to be a weekly series where we come in here, talk a little bit about Lorcana. Basically just gives myself, Kevin, and Sam a chance to sit and chat a little bit about our favorite game. As I mentioned there, I'm joined by Kevin. And I'm joined by Sam, both gifted casters and gifted players of the game. So I'm leaning on them heavily to be the representation of how the meta is supposed to flow. Because as those usually say, if you can't do, you teach. But in Lorcana, it seems if you can't do, you judge. So
that's how it I feel like that's every card game.
Yeah. So coming in here, I just wanted to say, my reasons for wanting to make this podcast. Because I noticed that the community has an opportunity here where everybody's kind of jumping into this game and they're having a great time with it. And I wanted to give some of the advice and some of the lessons learned that I have myself from buying and selling and playing this card game, just to help those that are jumping in to be able to hit the ground running. The other reasons is because, as I mentioned, I'm Judge Justin. I really love judging this game. It's near and dear to my heart. I love to see the fairness of it. And so I want to get in here and give people an opportunity to ask some of those questions that are judge questions, or, just highlight some of the things that I notice as a judge a lot and give people that opportunity to be less intimidated during their competitive journey, right? So that's my reasoning. So I'll pass it over to Kevin if you wanted to go ahead and jump in with your reasoning to make the podcast.
Sure. I love Lorcana. I have some history with TCGs. I played Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Growing up a little bit. And when I saw that Lorcana was coming out, it was a Disney IP. It's a trading card game. I wanted to hop on that as soon as I possibly could. And I don't regret it. It's been a lot of fun playing since the first set came out. I have tried to make it out to whatever competitive events that I possibly could. Not saying that I did very well, but I had a lot of fun. The reason I love Lorcana is because I love the community. I love talking with the people that find themselves in love with Lorcana as well. There's a common thread there between us, and I love talking about it. I love playing the game, and I saw this as an opportunity to honestly just chat with some friends about the game that I love so much. So, thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
All right, pass you over to you, Sam. Hit us with why you want to make the podcast.
Yeah, similar reasons to Kevin. I've been playing card games since maybe 2008, 2006, something like that. Something crazy early. Maybe junior high school, I started getting competitive, started going to the local game store. Local for me was, 30 minutes away, and it's really hard to convince my parents while I'm staying out, until midnight, 1 a.m. on a Friday night when I'm in high school, probably 16, 17. Yep. But since then, got into Yu-Gi-Oh! First. Had some time in Magic, some time in Pokemon. But I just love the competitive aspect of games. So for me, Lorcana was brand new. The people that I love to play card games with were already playing the game. So from the very get-go, from Chapter 1, I started grinding really hard. I went to every community event, just everything I could. Anytime there was a 1K, any big tournament locally, I was there. So been grinding a lot of this game, play it anytime I can. So yeah, I feel like if I can lend any insight into, a real grinder, I can't say that I win a lot, but I try my best. I've been to I think 4 DLCs now. I've been to some CCQs, trying to get to more. So you'll see me playing this game till it dies, I think.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, like, if you grind, you'll get there, right? I didn't really understand initially when I started playing the game. Like, I started off being a little bit more budget heavy too, and I was like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on cards, and I want to just play what I have available to me versus trying to go and search for a deck. And even when I put together those $200 to $400 decks, I was still not seeing success, and I was like, what is going on here? And it wasn't
like
until
those early days of Steel Song where everything was crazy expensive.
Oh my gosh, Rapunzel was just ruthless. You're just like, man,
I feel like
can't
that was
spend
my
$20.
first interaction with Kevin. Was I sat down and he was playing Steel Song at the Lehigh 1K, was it? Something like that.
The game
Case
grid there,
tournament.
yeah. Steel Song's the best, man.
And I think going back to what one of the things Kevin said too was I feel like the community in this game is awesome, but for a lot of people it was kind of the I feel like we have a lot of people coming over from other games, so it's kind of like the if you weren't passionate enough about your mainstay game and you came over, the people just love Lorcana, and it's so great to see that like there's something here that attracts a lot of people, and so many people have a different background too. Like you'll talk to somebody that's played Magic for 20 years and they just love Lorcana now, or Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's one that's kind of crazy to me because Yu-Gi-Oh and Lorcana are like completely different.
And I think
it's interesting and it's fun to see. I love seeing the diversity too.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of those things where, like with Lorcana, as it continues to grow and as people continue to jump in, right, you have this weird combination of people, like for at least for me, like I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was in junior high school like twice. And the only experience I had playing Pokemon was I played the game wrong for, ever, right? Never attaching energies to anything and just, basically Ash Ketchuming it and chucking a card out and like your Pokemon versus your Pokemon versus mine.
I summoned Charizard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Charizard is now in the field to play for no cost to me at all. But yeah, and so like when I jumped into Lorcana, it was this really awesome opportunity where my wife and I are absolute Disney adults, right? And our kids love Disney too. We go to do Disney things all the time. And when I found out there's a trading card game that was Disney themed, we just ran for it, right? And now like I'm dragging my wife to like midnight releases and 1Ks and stuff, and she's like, I'm not really into this, and then she ends up going and winning all these, and I'm like, it's just cool. Like she's all brand new.
Not really into this.
You have that combination of like brand new people that are coming into like their first ever TCG, and then you have the experienced ones that have been playing for forever, and it's almost like created this culture of its own, which is really cool.
Yeah, I haven't met like a rude Lorcana player yet. Like somebody who just wants to win and that's all they care about, and they come off a little bit like you've all seen a card game player like that, but in this game they're rare.
Yeah,
which is cool to see.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's a great community. I mean, my wife, who doesn't understand nor does she want to understand TCGs in any capacity, whenever I bring home cards, she's like, you open packs without me? I'm offended.
She doesn't even want to play. She just wants to open packs. That's my daughter.
No, she just wants to rip packs with me because she likes the characters. People attach themselves to these characters.
Disney's one part of it. For me, it's just a card game, and I love card games. But for a lot of people, they can resonate with the fact that it's Disney. It's approachable. It's understandable. Like you're like, look at these cards, and they know the characters, so you can be so something. They're like, hey, that's cool. I like Elsa, or like Ariel, or I like Cinderella. So I think that's approaching people that don't play card games. It's so much easier in this game because you're like, well, just look at this. It's cool. Like it's a really cool Elsa card, and it's actually really strong. Like they wouldn't get why it's strong, but they're like, hey, that's Elsa, and that's cool. The artists do a really good job in this game,
dude.
Yeah, artists.
I cannot talk enough about the artists of this game.
Right.
That's one of the sides of the community that I am extremely passionate about, and I go to these events, these DLCs or these CCQs specifically to find the artists.
I love that they come out to those events too.
Yep.
I love how you can always see an artist booth and there's just a line of people wanting to sign their cards.
Well, the crazy thing is at at Milwaukee, there was artists there all day, and they were doing free autographs all day. Like it was, there was no
on the cards.
On the cards,
wow.
There was no cost, and it was like I think they had an extra charge for like personalization or something like that. But the base autograph was just free. You waited in line, and you got to see the artist, you got to talk with them, and you got to get some stuff signed. It was such a cool experience. I saw that as like a player and an attendee, right? I didn't get to experience it much because judging, I was very everywhere else.
Hands on, yeah.
Yeah, I was everywhere else. It was still fun, right? Like, but it was cool to see that because at the the Game Grid Open, obviously there was a base charge for that, but obviously either I don't know if it was Ravensburger or Pastimes, somebody paid for those artists to be there and then issue those free signatures to all those attendees, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Cool. Well, I think we've kind of covered why we're getting into this, and it I think we're kind of just flowing right along here, so I don't want to break it up too much, but I figure it's a good segue. I kind of brought up the DLC when it comes to the artist there.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, so let's just break into this DLC Milwaukee and how it went. Obviously, we had a couple of players from Utah made day 2, which was great. I think Anthony Ekroth and then Omar Ramos made day 2. And
you know what they were playing? I think Ekroth was on
Blue
Purple,
for sure.
and then
I think
was Omar on the same thing?
I want to say he was on Blurple too, because
I feel like they usually play similar decks.
That is the one thing I do have to say, and I feel terrible about it. I have to. Whoever decides to listen to this podcast, I have to issue a blatant apology to the entire Utah Valley about how much crap I talked on Amethyst Steel for the entirety of Set Champs. And then Frank Karsten comes in there and just wrecks the whole DLC with it and makes me just choke on my words the whole day. And it was just absolutely, I mean, to be fair, I don't think anybody's taken Frank's list and is like carbon copying it and then having the same success that he did with it. But man, I just sat there. I talked so much crap on Amethyst Steel for the entirety of Set Champs. And then he goes.
I feel like I could spend maybe 15-20 minutes talking about how crazy Frank is as a player and what this list represents. It's so nuts.
It is just insane. And it's one of those lists where he's got a million answers and you have to have the answer at the right moment. And I sat there in game 5, when he played Timothy Q Mouse on turn 2, I just about had a panic attack because I knew it was going to win him the game. I knew it. Yeah. I knew that Timothy was going to quest for 10. I knew it. I was just like, how is this possible? And then he kills the Basil with it. Like, Timothy quests for 10 and kills a Basil all by itself, and then moves the damage with Bell. Oh my gosh, it was just
Frank's list is a lesson in mathematics.
Yeah,
like every choice he made is like a numerical. It's a spreadsheet. Like it's a statistic.
Yeah,
it's just a chance of this happening, and then a chance that you have the card. He's crazy, and I'm really happy it worked for him because it's so cool to see.
Yeah,
like, I love how not everybody can play this list. No. There's like very few people in the world that can play this and win.
One of my favorite things is that the way he builds decks just flies in the face of like the traditional way of prioritizing consistency over toolbox kits. And Frank's just like, I like toolboxes. I'm gonna make a toolbox. Math says toolbox.
So the one thing that I think he was noted, or he had mentioned too, was he doesn't look at the specific cards. So, like, he looks at it as, like, I've got 10 1-drops, I've got 10 2-drops, I've got 8 3-drops, right? He's just looking at it from a pure, like, I need a card to play in this space, and so these are the ones that I'm bringing with me. But, I mean, I'm talking, you gotta think about it this way. Timothy Q Mouse comes in on turn 2, and he sits in quests for 2 every turn because there's no efficient way to remove him from the board. And so he just sits there questing away. Let's say that's a Calhoun instead. Like
completely different game,
right? You're not questing for 10 anymore. That's a whole different story, right? And or even worse, a Madam Mim, right? A Madam Mim skater, right. She comes in there on 2 instead, right? Like you still have to play it on 2 because you need to be able to sing strength on when you play your genie, you got to still come around and sing strength on turn 4. But it's so wild to watch that and just be like, oh my gosh, like he has one copy of that in his whole deck. One.
Right.
And you're like,
and I think he only had one Tinkerbell too.
Yeah, well, one small tink. He had one small tink and one big tink. That's all he had.
Yeah.
So
that's nuts.
Yeah, it was wild.
Such a wild match.
Yeah, I mean, DLC as a whole was great. There's definitely some feedback that I provided to the event coordinators. Overall, it went well. I was on main stage for all of day 1, and then day 2, I went nuts on side events, and we cooked through side events. It was crazy. I was handling a space of 8-player pods, and they were running core constructed single elimination. If you win, you move on. You lose, you get your ticks and go. And I was in charge of the spot that realistically, each of the tables should have probably had, or for every 2 tables worth of people, you probably should have had like a single judge there. I was running 16 tables by myself.
Whoa.
So I was just sprinting around, fistful of ticks, and just going. And like, I don't know, I made a Facebook post about it with some of the other, on one of the other like more public Lorcana pages, and like just person after person was like, dude, you were a legend, you killed it. Like, we were at the after party that night with all the other judges and staff, and like this big group of players comes in and is like, you're the best judge I've ever seen. And I was like, thanks guys, appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, the DLC was great. There's feedback to be had, but I think every player who spent money to be there got their money's worth, and every attendee who spent money to be there got their money's worth, is my...
And side events at these DLCs are fun, man.
They are.
If you crash out on Saturday and you just want to play some Lorcana still, just run side events all day. You'll have a great time.
Shoot, just be an attendee. Just, you get an attendee badge.
Yeah,
show
if you're nervous about playing in a big event, because I know some people are, like, they're intimidating. If that 2,000 people card game tournament, I get it. Mm-hmm. Play the side events. You will have a great time. Play some Pack Rush. Play with the devs. That's awesome too.
Yep, if the devs are there,
favorites.
I didn't
play
have
the
any
constructed
devs there, I don't think, that I saw.
Not
Maybe
this
I'm
time?
crazy. I don't think so. Not for this one.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I like it when they show up. I went to the Denver CCQ and they had Steve Warner there. That was awesome.
Yeah,
had some friends go, and he has completely blinged out decks. So every deck is highest rarity, which is crazy cool to see, because he'll just have iconics in there, and it's a testament just to being
a dev,
whatever, the main developer of the game or whatever. But it's kind of fun to sit down and just, you're shuffling this deck that's worth thousands of dollars, and it's just like, what am I looking at right now? Your hand's just completely flashy. It's cool.
Awesome. The fun part is that he knows what's going on, but he doesn't let the people who are going to play his decks know, per se.
Yeah.
So I played him as well, and I picked up a random deck that he has, because he has like 8 there, and he's like, you don't want to play Stitch on curve with that deck. And I was like, okay, so I shuffle it up and I draw iconic. And I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, can I take this one home? I need a...
Yeah.
I was like, does Winner get the deck?
Well, funny. I had a friend go play him, and he just got annihilated. He picked up a deck, started shuffling it up, and then Steve just picks the counter and just whoops him. It was hilarious. There's just no shame. He just picks up the deck that immediately counters it, shuffles up, and just destroys him.
So what we're hearing here
funny.
is that Steve is Bill, or not Bill. What was the... Is it Bill? Who's Ash's nemesis? Oh my gosh, Gary. Steve is Gary.
Yeah,
Steve is Gary.
He just waits till you pick your Pokemon, and then he just gets a complete
picks
counter.
the one that counters you. Yeah. It was awesome. I thought it was so funny. It was a great story, and he had met like a friend that had never played before, and they both played him, and it was just so funny you see this deck with the highest rarity you can imagine, and then you just get destroyed.
That's wild.
No, and then on top of that, like, he likes to add just a little bit of salt, because if you win or lose, you get to pick a promo or some card that he has available to you. But then he'll take the card and write the winning or losing score on it and be like, you lost, and hands it to you, and you're like, oh.
You're like, thanks, man. I'm going to totally not throw this away right as I walk away. No.
Yeah, that's going straight into my deck. That's legal, right?
Yeah, right.
100%.
Speaking of cards legal to your deck, and probably one of the things that was pretty funny at the DLC, I do have a playset of Elsa Proxies that you saw famously in DKP's deck. So they had some of those Proxies there because they were worried about those glimmer foil Elsas from the
promo box or whatever
that has the promos in them. The glimmer foils all weekend, man. They were just Pringles all weekend.
Yeah.
And I think it was somebody had told me it's something to do with the humidity or something, which is weird because it didn't feel humid in Milwaukee at all. Anyways, and then, I mean, he had a ton of his cards that were just Pringled out, and so that's why you saw his whole deck was basically freaking Proxies.
So do they allow Proxies in that situation?
They did, yeah. So Pastimes reached out to Ravensburger and was like, so instead of making these players try to go and source all of these cards, should we just allow Proxies? Because we know some people are, doing max rarity on their decks. Specifically, these Elsa Glimmer foils have been a problem all day one. We didn't necessarily have a lot of complaints about them, but when we saw them as judges, we would always put that person in for a deck check the next round so that we could just verify that it wasn't something that was skewing the the fairness of the game. I mean, with like DKP's deck, like there was so many cards that were pringled out. It didn't really matter, I think. Like it wasn't like something where people were like, oh my gosh, like no, that wasn't the attitude. It was more of just like, hey, we want to remove any sort of like question mark of this, and we're just gonna make sure that this is on the up and up. And I mean, I don't know if that like threw him off either, because I mean, for me, it would probably throw me off to see like a bunch of proxies in my deck instead of seeing
I gotta
cards.
imagine if my opponent in front of me has a deck full of proxies, I'm like, what is going on here? But then he like explains the story. You're like, oh, that makes sense. But the first interaction, you're like, what is this?
Yeah, I had a bunch of people message me and were like, hey, like what's going on with DKP's deck? Like, is it like what happened? And I'm like, it's really not that big a deal. There was just some pringled out cards. It was fine.
Well, the drama for that too was that kind of happened on stream, so everybody saw what he was playing.
Yeah, it was
that's
wild.
What he was talking about. Was like his whole deck list got spread out on stream, so everybody knew exact card.
Yeah,
you got doxed. Oh no.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I mean, that's probably a really good segue. And something that I've talked about with a couple of different players, and I kind of want to hear your guys' opinions on it. But what do you guys think about like open deck lists in general? Because for me personally, I'm kind of like I'm weird. I like to have games on hard mode, I guess. But I expect that I should be able to beat you no matter how much you know about my deck. Like you could know the color, you could know whatever you're playing against. Obviously, that gives you a little bit of an edge. But I don't really feel like it's something that scares me so much. Like if somebody was to ask me like friendly, we're sitting down at a DLC or a CCQ or something, and they're like, well, so what colors are you playing? I'm going to tell them. Like I'm not going to not tell them. But I don't know. What do you guys think about like the open deck list thought process and how that would come into competitive play?
So I think in a competitive format, you have to choose one or the other. I think either it's closed or it's open. I have no problem with open. I think that if your deck's already locked in and everyone knows about it, I mean, it gives you a chance to maybe think about whatever secret sauce your opponent might be having, but it doesn't give you, at least in my opinion, a distinct advantage because you can't change. It's not like you can side deck cards. It's not like you can change what you can do, other than you can maybe change how you approach the match, or maybe change how you alter your hand.
Yeah.
So I can see why people might be a little upset about that. And additionally, there are some matchups that are heavily favored depending on how you alter. So I mean, if you are control, and if you're heavy control, and you know that you're facing some aggro, like you are going to change the way that you alter your hand.
Absolutely.
Knowing that matchup. So whether or not that heavily influences, as long as it's the entire competition in general, like the entire event, for me, it doesn't matter as long as it's one way or the other. Like you have to pick a lane.
Right.
I think as somebody who's played with them, I like them. I like open deck lists. Like Top Cut's a lot more fun when you know what you're like gonna see. Realistically though, it kind of only affects like the mulligan, in my opinion. It's like the mulligan and turn one are the most impacted by actually knowing what your opponent runs. Like there's some use cases, right, where if somebody plays like a tech card, it's hard to say there's a lot in this game, but if like they're running like, I don't know, something that gives you reckless or something, you know that. Like if you know they only have one copy or something like that, that can come up, but it really kind of only affects just how you mulligan. You're just digging for, like he said, if you're blurple and you play against aggro, you want your one drops, you want your into the unknowns, you want your Elsas, just that's what you want. So you're probably you might shove harder for those.
It also gives you like a distinct advantage on the play, right?
Yeah. And one thing I think would be kind of interesting is if you knew your opponent's colors, not necessarily their deck list, but if you just knew their colors going in, like before the game starts, you have to tell each other your colors. I think would be an interesting concept for maybe like a set champs format or just like one of these smaller seasons, not necessarily like the world's like circuit, but like a smaller local event, like a set champs. It would be kind of cool. You mean like sit down, tell each other your colors, and then go from there. And then that could be something maybe in the more of the future. There used to be back when there were like 800 less cards, you could have two different versions of the same colors, but now it's usually just set in stone. Like, if you play against Amber Steel, you're playing against aggro. And I think rotation kind of fixed that.
I mean, yeah, with our current format, I totally agree with you. But I mean, a few sets ago, there was an Amber Steel aggro, and then there was an Amber Steel Singer mid-range, right?
There's also Amber Steel discard. as well. That was like,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
where that came from, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. And then, I mean, in this format specifically, I think that the color combo that would get away with it the most, at least out of the popular sets, would be Amethyst Steel, because there's a million different ways that people
Oh, yeah.
build that specific
That's the
deck.
most versatile deck, I think. You can build it mid-range, you can build it straight aggro, you can build it...
Yeah, it's like a
More
Swiss
top
Army
ends.
knife, man. You can do all the things with it.
There's the other one I wanted to bring up for that too would be Blue Steel, because there's that Blue Steel ally aggro deck where you just like rely heavily on Jasmine to like flip cards off the top of the deck. But then there's the top end heavy, like you play Hades and you play Robin Hood, and the other
Vincenzo.
Jasmine, the one that discards and gains Challenger.
Yeah.
So you're just playing bombs every turn, and sometimes that's hard to deal with. So if you knew that you're playing against Blue Steel, you might not know which one it is. But I think it could be an interesting concept.
Yeah,
and it
I
goes
like the
with what you
idea.
say too. Like if somebody sits down and is like, "What are you playing?" I'll tell them too. Just I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I don't mind it as much. I mean, I think to your point, right? It gives you a little bit of a distinct advantage on the play. Like if I'm playing Blurple like I've been playing, right? And I know I'm going to be facing an aggro, I'm definitely getting down like a Rafiki and over.
Yeah, instead of the develop your brain, you're
Yeah.
going to play a Rafiki or a Basil.
Right.
Like that's going to happen. But, like locally, you probably know what everybody's playing anyway after the first round.
Yeah, you kind of
Right.
see like
Probably
the
just know.
first group of people go through set champs, and you're like, all right, you're on Blurple, you're on Amsteel, you're on aggro. So yeah, I think there's that too. I mean, to that point, kind of the hot button topic is, I know some people were talking about with set champs, like signing up for multiple set champs and then maybe not showing up to a set champ.
Yeah.
There was some
That's just
frustration
kind of
in the
the
groups
unfortunate
about that.
consequence of having 10 of them on the same day, right? Is that you don't know which one you
Right.
can go to, so you sign up because some of them have limited spots. So you're like, well, if that one fills up, I want to go to this one, or if I know somebody's going to this one. I think that's just because they're over like specific weekends that kind of just that problem causes itself.
And also,
It's not anything you can really do about it.
it's also really tough because it becomes a bigger problem with the game shops that have limited spaces, right? Because if they're saying like, "Oh, we're capped at 16 players," or whatever, like they have
But only 12 show up.
yeah, and they've
Yeah.
they've capped it, and only 12 of those 16, or even worse, right? There was a couple of them that were like capped at 16 players, and only 7 showed up. Like that was something that they had to call somebody and, hey, hurry, come over here so we can fire this set champs. And it's one of those things where it's tough because I see it from both sides. Like I see it and I see this with a lot with like most of the controversial topics within Lorcana is more like it's both on the LGS, the local game shops, and the player community, right? Like it's a little bit of both where the local game shops have to do things and set policies that are going to be the most beneficial for the players, aka maybe don't cap your event. Like even if you do have limited space, like we know the community here is probably not going to exceed 20 players anyways. So you just let it stay open and let as many people sign up for it as you want, so that way they can show up. And then on the other side of that, as players, like, hey, if you know you can't make it, drop from the event, number one. But also for the players that said, oh, I don't want to go there because I thought it was capped, just go. Like, just go to the game shop. If you're close enough to it, if it's not out of the way and it's not going to be a nightmare to get there, just go. I know every single time I've judged and we've been at cap, there's always been like a 5-second decision made on should we increase the cap, and everyone's always like, yeah, we should increase the cap. Like we should take more money. Yeah, like that's never a bad thing. So you think that your game shop maybe can't fit 16 players, trust me, it can, right? Yeah, is it going to be comfortable? No, but Game Haven West Jordan isn't very comfortable, and we fit 36 players in there one time. So that's how it is.
I mean, to that point, my second round of set champs this most recent season was kind of like a Hail Mary. I was going up to the Queen's Realm, and that was in Ogden. And I looked up on the website, and I was like, oh, it's full. So I called them up. Just call them. LGSs want to talk to you. And the lovely lady at the counter was like, oh, we're full, but you can come down if you want, and we might have an open spot for you. And I was like, well, I'm like an hour plus away. Is it worth the drive? So I was just like, you know what? It is. I'm just gonna go.
Sure.
And on the way up, she called me back being like, oh, we have an open slot. Someone dropped. Come on up. And I was like, sweet. So they held a spot for me. I think that all these stores are super amenable to any of their player base, and they really want to make it a great experience. But we do have to recognize as players that there are some restrictions as well.
Yeah.
Maybe there's fire code restrictions for the amount of people they can have in there. Maybe there's other things that are blocking them from increasing caps. But I think that they would be more than willing to have people in there because more people's more money, right?
Yeah.
And the more people there, the better the tournament is.
Well, and side note, Ravensburger switched to their magical, wonderful Ravensburger Play Hub for a very specific reason. The reason is because they wanted analytics based on the number of players that attended events. They wanted to know what number of players showed up to what shops. That way, when it came down time to actually send product to these shops, they know how much product to send to these shops, or they know how much to put aside for these shops. So these shops get more players in these events. These shops are also going to get more product, right? Like that's also going to fall into it as well. Some of it's rumor to a bit, but I've talked to several people who are involved with Cardi.io and with Ravensburger Play Hub, and multiple sources have told me that it has to do with the analytics that they wanted to get that they weren't able to get from Melee.
I think that makes a lot of sense too. Like, you need to know how many people are playing your game, and the only way to do that is in-house, right? Mm-hmm. But as players, I think one pitfall for that too is like when we players kind of know that we like to game the system a little bit, so we want to sign up for everything we can. Mm-hmm. And that just kind of lends to that ideology where it's like, I don't think in the last like 2 sets of set champs that I've been to, we've ever had the number that it said we were going to have, right? More people signed up to the event than actually played.
Dude, the last
at least
time...
in my neck of the woods, I go to very small game stores up here in Ogden. Yeah. Salt Lake area's got the bigger stores, but around here, you'll have 20 people sign up and 12 come and play. Yeah. And then very rarely you'll have 8 people sign up and then 20 people come. So it's hit or miss.
Well, there was that one set champs. I can't remember what the card was. I want to say it was the Hero Hamada. It might have been the Hero. Yeah. No, it wasn't the Hero. It was the Scar. It was the Scar set. And I was judging at Game Haven, West Jordan, and it was the last set champs for the season, and it was the only one on that Sunday. Of
course.
And it was
what a dream.
Wild. I was like, this is the unofficial Salt Lake Championship right here.
Yeah.
It was wild. I
bet it was packed.
It was so packed. It was just insane.
And I don't think a lot of people know this, but the Salt Lake area and extended up to Ogden, Lehigh. We're one of the most game store dense places in the country.
Yeah.
Like, we have more game stores than most populated areas. Maybe the tri-state area would be a little bit more, but it's like that's the statistic that you only get from knowing game store owners. But we feel the effects because we have so many events on the same day. It's like, which set champs do you want to go to? Do you want to drive an hour and go to the one that's going to have 40 people? Or do you want to just I don't know, it's 5 minutes from your house, but there's going to be 9. It's really hard decision sometimes. Like, I want to go to the one that has 40, but I'm an adult. I have responsibilities. I can't always do that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to play at a kayfabe event every time I can, but I can't. I just can't.
Well, and speaking of that, right, I think that kind of segues really good into another topic that we were talking about with the local events and pricing for those events, and something that I know the player community has said several times, but we haven't really had an opportunity to kind of say it loud and say it proud, I guess, to the LGSs is hey, we want pricing. It could be worse. I've heard horror stories about set champs being $40 to attend, and all you get is the top 8 promos and the first place mat. But it doesn't mean that we have to hold back on saying, hey, we expect some additional pricing beyond just what Ravensburger is giving to you for free as an LGS. And I think it's one of those things that for me, I kind of expect that at least at very bare minimum, top 8 gets a little extra love. And that's what I've seen at Oasis. and that's what I've seen at Kayfabe, and that's what I've seen at a couple of other. I'm trying to think. Oh, Game Grid. Game Grid's done a good job with that previously, but I've seen a couple of other game shops that haven't really kind of fallen into that line, and I've seen some of them kind of compensate by saying, oh, we'll do free attendance, which I think by all means you're gonna do free attendance. Like, I'm never gonna
it's hard to be free attendant. The free tournaments, like that's a gold standard. Like, you're not gonna beat that. That's just, you just want to play. That's fun.
You walk away with
I
a promo.
don't even care if there's even one prize at a free tournament. That's awesome.
Right.
Like, aside for the promos, right? Because that's the reason you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if it's free and they hand out the promos, I'm going. Yeah. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Do you guys along those lines? Do you guys have a favorite game store to go to for set champs just because of the prizes? Like,
100%
atmosphere
Oasis for me.
aside, just the pricing.
100% Oasis for me, and I mean, I shouldn't just say Oasis because Kayfabe was great. I finally got to attend a set champs at Kayfabe. I've been wanting to go there for the last year and haven't been able to do a set champs there. But yeah, both of those stores have been amazing. And those, like, I will always make excuses to go to Oasis for pricing.
Oasis has always treated me right. But up north, there's my favorite one. Usually they turn it into a win-a-box.
Yeah.
Very rarely do they not turn it into a win-a-box based on attendance, is Game Grid Layton. Now, that's a store that does have a player cap, and they hold to it just because it's very small. Yeah. Their player space is taken up by, I think they have Commander that day, and it's already small. So they cap it at maybe, I think it's 20 players. But if all 20 show up, it's always like pack per win for everybody who plays.
Amazing.
And then they give an additional prizing the top 8, like first place gets a box, and then they do top-down prizing.
Wow.
So that, I think most of the game grids have always been at least pack per win, which I expect kind of as a player going in. That's kind of, if you don't do that at a bare minimum, it's kind of like, what are you doing?
Well, and are you saying pack per win just for top 8, or are you saying everyone, the whole player?
Everybody should, I think pack per win.
Yeah,
it should be. Yeah. I just, like, charge what you need to, like charge 25 or charge 30, but
well, and that's the thing, is we'll pay it as players as long as the prizing is falls in suit with it. I think
you hate that game store you go to that's $25 and then no prizing.
No pricing, that's not acceptable.
And then you go to another game store, it's like you paid 15, but now it's pack per win, and you walk out with like 8 packs. Like, what do you mean? It's just different.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there's been several. We've seen instances of players not wanting to play out the top cut because they're like, I'm going to be here for another 3 hours, and if I lose, I walk away with nothing. And you walk away with your promo card, but it's
and that's kind of the struggle too with more top-down pricing too. Is you'll have like a top 4 that just gets chopped because like, why stick it out for another 2 hours for like 8 more packs when we could all split and then we get 12 each or something like that. So
yeah, Oasis did that.
I don't have any problem with that.
I
think splitting really prizes is good, but that's just a way to get everybody everything, and then you just figure out the play mat. I don't have a problem with that as a player, but I think game stores do kind of frown upon that a little bit. They like people playing the game in their store, so
it's tough too because like I've been in both spots, and I think it's funny because I feel like splitting prizing is very similar to intentional draws, is very similar to not allowing a missed trigger. Like, there's things about the game that you say you will never do until you have the opportunity to do it, and then you do it every single time because you're like, oh, I'm never gonna ID to secure my top 8, my top cut spot. But then you go up and you're like, I can ID right now. Same with, like, we were talking about missed triggers the other day, and is like, it's recommended to remind your opponent about their triggers and so on and so forth. And yeah, sure, like most cases, I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's make sure that you get your trigger. Let's not like miss it. But if we're talking about the difference between top cut at a DLC, I think there's a scenario where it's best to kind of hope that they don't catch a May trigger and like you move on with the game at that point, right? And then
I think that's
to prizing as well, right? Like,
I think that bridges on a topic that I'm kind of interested in. How do you guys feel about Lorcana like blatantly stating that takebacks are allowed in this game? Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah. I did it all DLC. It was great.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
I'm
you
sure
can take
Jason
anything
has
back is
something to
within
say.
reason, right? It's not going to be like,
So the take backs.
oh, I want to go back a whole turn. You can't do that. But the undo
Right.
button that's in like, shh, you can't talk about the online platforms, but the undo button,
Yeah.
it's a great thing.
Yeah.
And I think it matters in tournaments. Like you should be able to undo an action. And every single time as a player that somebody has asked me, hey, can I take this back? I say yes.
Yeah.
100,000% of the time. And I expect that same courtesy back to me. And it's so funny to me when people say no.
Well,
What?
so I can clarify. So the take backs, the way that they stated, was your last play is all you can take back. So that's
Yeah.
it. Like you can't go beyond that. So say for example, you're playing, say you ink a card and then you look at the board and you're like, actually, I'm going to take that back and I'm going to ink this card instead. That's allowed. That's an allowed take back situation. It has to be approved by a judge. So a judge has to be called during a take back. So if you're in a scenario where someone's like, I want to do a take back, just call the judge over. There's no reason to like mess around with what they're saying and listen to what they have to say. Let the judge tell you what's allowed and what's not allowed. And so that's a scenario that you can take back. You cannot ink a card, exert ink, or play a card and then exert ink to play that card and then say, ooh, I want to take back that inked card and ink a different card, because you've now gone past that play, right? And you the only thing you could do as a take back is you could not play that card that you just played, right? Like that would be the next step. Like you've gone too far, right? And when you think about it that way, it becomes very logical and very easy. And I want to also to clarify, like a missed trigger cannot be taken back. You can't be like, oops,
Right.
I missed my trigger, I'm going to take, like, it's not possible,
No,
right? A
that's-
missed
that's
trigger is
just different.
covered
Yeah.
elsewhere in the PCGs or the play correction guidelines, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
It is also important to note that takebacks are not legal within the game. It was just a DLC Milwaukee thing for right now.
Okay.
So they haven't
Okay.
said to the whole game, like, yeah, you can do takebacks at will.
The verbiage they used in the Discord was very much like they're moving in a direction for all of
Right.
Lorcana. So
Yeah, they're moving in
maybe
that direction,
They
but
are
for-
still moving towards that, and they just haven't like. Maybe
It was
the
like an
next event will feature
experiment,
that,
is what they said.
Yeah.
They wanted to experiment with it in Milwaukee.
Interesting.
And, it was actually super successful, in my opinion. Like, I thought it was
I
so
think-
smooth.
I think the developers of this game really want to like reduce the stress of playing in a competitive event.
Yeah.
And that's one of the ways to do it. And especially, I know this game too is pretty lenient on punishments.
Yeah.
Like if you have, I don't know, made a mistake, everybody makes errors, like a gameplay error or a deck building error, or your sleeves are messed up. Like this game's pretty lenient. Some people say it's too lenient, some people say they love it, some people hate it, but I think it goes along with that. They're setting it up in a way to remove the stress from that kind of environment. And I think the takebacks are a way to further that too,
Right.
I think the best way
I
to
think this is
describe
prioritizing
Lorcana,
fun.
Yeah.
Right, and I think the best way to describe Lorcana in comparison to like other games that they want to try, that some players want Lorcana to be more like, is that if you're coming from like a Magic or a Yu-Gi-Oh background, imagine Magic, but then imagine Mickey Mouse dancing in the corner while you're playing Magic, right? Like that's what you should be expecting when you're walking into this game, right? You shouldn't be expecting that it's the same. You should be expecting that this is a Disney-fied version of a trading card game. And that's
as
what
like
it's meant
ex
to be.
Yu-Gi-Oh players, the group I hang out with when I play this game, we are always baffled that a rule goes the way it does, because in Yu-Gi-Oh the rules are not lenient. Like for example,
very
this
strict.
is the one to set it right in perspective. If a game goes to time, it is a double match loss.
Oh, dang.
So
Dang.
it just puts it right in your face how like strict Yu-Gi-Oh is. So we hear about like deck building errors. They just give a warning. They're like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or proxies are given when cards are warped or whatever. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like that would be a DQ. Like realistically,
Oh my
it's just
gosh.
different. So we're always surprised, but I think for the betterment of the game, I think it's appropriate in Lorcana's case. Like you're not,
Absolutely.
it's not a Yu-Gi-Oh and it's not a Magic the Gathering. Like there's a certain vibe to this game. And that's not to say it's not competitive. Like I think Pokemon kind of has the same similar vibe. It's like it's pretty chill, right? But they still get 3,000 people events. Like, it doesn't mean the game's not being played at a very high level. So those are two different things to me. I think Lorcana doing a very good job with the way they want their rules to be approached.
Right.
And I like it.
I agree. I will say there was one instance of a take back in DLC Milwaukee that I didn't agree with personally, but it was allowed as a take back. Was a player played Visions of the Future, which is the card that you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, take one, put it in your hand, and put the rest of them at the bottom of your deck in any order. They did that, and they said, actually, I want to take that back and get a different card of the 5 cards. And they took the 4 cards from the bottom of their deck, and they said, this is the card I took from Visions, Scout's Honor. I'm now going to take another different card and put it into my hand and put 4 cards at the bottom of my deck again. And the opponent in that situation said very clearly to the judge, I have no way of verifying that card was the card they took from Visions of the Future.
Absolutely.
And so that was one of those situations where you're like, there's got to be some level of ruling put in place. Because the way they verbiaged the takebacks was that you cannot gain any new information. With Visions, they wouldn't be gaining any new information. They would just be looking at the same 5 cards that they were already looking at, right?
Mm-hmm. Unless something had happened where the cards didn't go in the right place, but that would be blatantly cheating. So.
Right. And that goes to a whole different investigation. But the challenge there was that the opponent, and it was funny because the opponent basically served it up as like on a platter to say, nah, we're not going to let this take back fly by saying, I can't validate that's the card they took from the Visions initially.
And that's the problem too, because he wouldn't know what was in the hand.
Right. Because like, say for example, you got like a Tipo and a Visions and a freaking a Genie in your hand, right? And you're like, all right, I'm in a Visions and I see 2 Hades in here. And I'm like, oh, let me take a Hades. All right. Actually, let me take that back. Let me take another Hades and put back a Tipo this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's kind of similar to like, I don't know if you as a judge have ever seen this, but like on a Daisy Duck trigger where the opponent didn't see what was like, they just flip a card and add it to their hand and the opponent didn't actually see. You can just reveal any character at that point. It's like, oh, I got this one.
Yeah, I swear it was this one.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times where it's kind of sketchy.
That's wild.
There's no real reason to not believe them. Like, I didn't see the card. Oh, it was this one.
That was where, I mean, and that's what the judge ended up saying. He was just like, oh, well, we believe him. Okay.
Yeah.
You just move on, I guess.
Is there any space within the rulebook for that sort of belief or not? Like, because
it's
I
discretion
feel like
of the judge, effectively, right?
Yeah.
That's what that comes down to.
When the judge is making a ruling there, judge's decision.
And I think the only thing the judges can do, and what I've kind of been trying to hammer home with a lot of people is like, as a judge, the best thing I can do in that situation is make sure whoever did what, they both get warnings, because a warning is tracked, and depending on where it's at within the PCGs, it's either 3 warnings for a game loss or 2 warnings for a game loss. So depending on what that goes. And so the only way that you can protect the player base in that scenario of somebody just being a bad actor is just saying, I've got to issue a warning every single time there's something happening that seems suspicious. You figure out what the warning would be classified under, and then you move forward with it, right?
And if you're a player that is worried about bad actors, always call a judge.
Just call a judge every time.
Yeah, and that's a good strategy just going forward. If you're at an event that there are judges, just call a judge
every time.
It's always worth your time. Like you'll get a time extension, you'll get whatever amenity you need. Just call a judge. They will handle the situation, and it's always better for you as a player to call a judge if anything questionable goes on at all.
Yeah. Before seeing the bigger events like Game Grid, Open, and the DLC, as a judge that did like local set champs and stuff, I didn't necessarily understand the concept of like giving time, because a lot of the times, like when I did have a judge call, like once every like 3 tournaments that I was involved in. So when going through so many different judge calls, I mean, I had tons of judge calls that were just like, hey, how much time's left in the round? Or like, because you can't see the timer or, you know, whatever, right? And like, and, you know, with those, even with those, sometimes it was like, oh, well, hang on one second. Let me open up the, you know, Purple Fox and hey, I'll give you guys a 30-second extension, or, you know, what, like, always call the judge though. Always call the judge. I was telling somebody as a judge, like people are like, oh, we don't want to like bother the judge. I get excited because I'm like, I get to do my job instead of just standing here.
That's what you're there for, literally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any advice to a player like playing in a DLC or a bigger event that there are judges present, call them.
Every time. Get
Anytime.
to know 'em.
Every time.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think we kind of went through all of the local stuff. I think obviously I will try to get more engagement with a lot of the LGSs and just, get them more along the lines of like, hey, this is what your players are expecting. So if you offer this, then you're now, and this is where also it comes down to the players, where we need to speak with our wallets a lot too by saying, I'm going to go spend my money at this LGS because they're giving me prizing, right? Versus, oh, I'm just going to go to this LGS because I want to go to a set champs. And like, no, if there's others on that day and those others are going to have prizing at them, go there. Go give them your business because they're willing to give the players a little bit something to be there.
And I'd say make a friend too. The people behind the counter usually want to talk to you. So if you're like, hey,
100%.
I want to play Lorcana here. You guys have a great location, but you don't get enough people because you don't give enough prizing. They'll listen to you.
Yeah.
Almost assuredly, they'll listen to you.
Absolutely.
They might not give you prizing immediately, but you bet their next time that they have an event, they're gonna be like, oh, maybe we should do like some sort of winner takes this, or there's prizing through Top Cut or something.
And yeah, I mean, I'm an employee of one of the game grids around here, and I can attest to that. Anyone that wants to come to me with any suggestions for how to improve or any ideas on what they want for future events, we are definitely willing to listen because we want to respond to what the players want, what the players are asking for. We want to make sure that you're all having a great time because I want to have a great time playing the game that I love, and I want to make
and
sure
you'll get to know them too. If you're
thing.
playing in their store every week or every set champs, even they'll remember you.
Absolutely.
That's why I love playing up here. I usually stick around because we've got to know not just the player community, but the store owner community, the employee community. So when we give them feedback, they usually listen to us. So we're always playing up here to show that we, like you said, we're letting our wallets speak, right? We're saying, hey, we'll keep playing here. There's a better event down the street, but I'll come here every time because I respect you guys. You treat us well. You give us prizing. Like that matters. Yeah. And they'll see Absolutely. It too. And they know when they've scheduled an event with 5 other game stores and you go to them. They definitely know. So,
yeah. And I mean, coming up, another thing that's important to note. So I'm working with Oasis to try to get another 1K set up, and then Evan is working with Game Grid Lehigh to try to get another 1K set up there. It's looking like January-ish is the plan for them because they've got a lot of crazy stuff happening in November, and then we've got Infinity Weekend in December for Lorcana, which is going to be awesome, right? Everyone's going to get their whole new world promo. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right? Or go scour the valley for those. That's going to be wild, right?
Infinity is too crazy for me. I don't know.
Bro,
I'm going to go with no expectations, but I think everything I see is going to blow me away. I'm like, man, what is this?
Dude, there's an Infinity aggro deck that is just absolutely bonkers because it's got Nala, Piglet, and what was the other one? Yeah, Nala, Piglet, and Tiana. Or not Tiana, because Tiana doesn't matter in there, but it's like Nala, two 3-questers.
It's just nasty.
Which is just wild. Two cost 3-questers. Like, all right, let's just go. But,
yeah, have at it.
Like, all of a sudden, you're just going ham. Like, it's just wild. And then you got the lady to boot, right? Like, you can go, turn 1.
Go ahead, brawl me.
Yeah, turn 1 Daisy, turn 2 Nala, turn 3 Lady to Piglet. Like, all right. What's happening?
Well, I think it was a very interesting decision as well to be like, well, no, Hirum's actually legal in Infinity. Go nuts.
I mean, it was one of those things where when they banned Hiram, it almost felt like that was Bell's ban, and they just didn't want to ban their brand new card. It was like, hey, Hiram and poor Fortisphere took the brunt of the pain when it should have been Bell. Yeah. But yeah.
All of us stare directly at Bell and Popsicle.
Oh yeah, and then you could just never play Blue Red again. You're just like, oh, this deck sucks.
Yeah, right. Affinity is interesting. It's one of those where, and I tell people I'm just a crayon-eating marine at the end of the day, so like I need to have a little bit of simplicity when it comes to the metagame. If it's that widespread, like I don't think I can keep track of that many decks.
12 deck formats are hard.
That's rough, man.
I prefer like when it's 2 or 3 personally.
I really did
4 or
like
5.
the 4-deck format that we had this last set. I thought this last set's format was fine, albeit very, very dice rolly and very don't let your deck beat you, right? Like it just felt like your deck beat you a lot, and it felt like on the play you had the advantage significantly.
I had a hard time with the die roll. This especially this set cycle. I usually like to play a little bit off meta at set champs because that's the only place you get to do that.
Right.
So I was bringing some stuff that won when I got first and did not when I went second. So
it felt like there was a lot of decks that were positioned that way. Like you could dump truck people going first, but then if you were on the draw, it just felt like you'd already lost. So,
and I think that was the testament to why you saw so much prevalence in Blurple, because Blurple had the best win rate going second, right?
Yeah.
You just have better cards.
Yeah, it just felt
more
better.
consistent.
Well, and that was like when I was watching, a little spin back to Frank's final, right? When he was playing Blurple. Him being able to go first was huge. Number one. But then he still had to play the right cards because his deck literally could have beat him in that spot. Like Blurple could have pulled that out if he doesn't get a 2-drop or if he doesn't get a 1-drop on that final game. That's a whole different game. If you can't clear 4 willpower with a strength and you're kind of sitting there and you're only able to hit for 3 with a strength, you're in a way different tempo game at that point. So I think I saw that happen so many times with Amethyst Steel, which is why I talk so much crap on it the whole time. But it's just one of those cards, one of those situations, man.
I have a hot take on the meta, and like I feel like every single person's problem with it currently. If you do have a problem with the meta, it all boils down to one thing, and that swing turns are far too important. So the reason going first feels so much better is because you hit your swing turn faster, right? And the reason it feels bad because you don't hit it fast enough, or if you miss the swing turn, like you don't draw the 4-drop, you just lose again. Right. So I feel like people's gripes with this format, it's just boiled down to a swing turn. And for Blurple, it's turn 3 because that's when you hit your 4-drop. So if you don't play a 4 or a 5, if you don't have a good one, you're probably just not coming back. And then aggro just punishes you if you don't. Right. So
yeah, and I think that makes sense, honestly, because that's really, it just comes down to whether or not you can pop off there on curve, or if you're just kind of still trying to float. If you're not playing
blue cards, it's like curve or bust.
Yeah.
So if we are observing the game from that lens, what do we think helps increase the consistency or at least the variety of swing turns? Is it the card quality, or is it the deck variety that's available given the format? Like what would help this particular issue?
Low-hanging fruit's always going to be card quality, because if you think, like if we're going to talk about just blue swing turns in general, you have your ramp turn. If you miss that, you're losing.
Toast.
Yeah.
Right? You've lost.
Yep.
But then after that, card quality is just too important because Amethyst just has the best card quality. It's the color with the best text, right? And you see that set after set.
I think card quality comes back to like draw, right? Like it always just comes down to like, can you draw more than your opponent? Because if you can, you're gonna win this game.
And it's no secret that like the if you, I'm just gonna lump Blurple and Amethyst Steel together just because Amethyst carries both of those matchup those decks, right? But there's no secret why it's like if you want to play a long game, you play purple cards. Aggro just wins by turn 6, and if they don't have a good turn 6, they've lost. And then blue-green just kind of has that one board clear, and usually that's enough, right? So they all have their game plans, but if you look at card quality, the other two decks exist simply to stop Amethyst from getting its card quality. So that's I think if Ravensburger wants to change it in any way, I'm not saying that they should or whatever, but you'd have to give other colors more consistent draw if you want things to change drastically, which I don't think they do, given by the cards in the new set.
No.
I think they really are happy with like color identities right now. And they even like doubled down on that by taking away some of the draw from other colors. Like you saw Hiram go away. The rotation did not feature things like Rapunzel.
Yeah, I think
Beast is gone.
Yeah, and I think it was one of those situations where I think a lot of people have said from the mountaintops that draw being an amethyst quality is really tough on the game because it just means that you always have to play amethyst. Like you just, if you're gonna try and build a deck, like that's just your best bet is to try to have something that has card draw.
If you think about every deck that's consistently beat amethyst decks, it's like green steel. Okay, that removed the most popular variant, removed the cards from your hand, right? So you didn't actually get to play the good purple cards you were drawing, right? Steel Song just had a completely bonkers card in I Draw 7.
Yeah.
So you competed with the amethyst.
Well,
draw.
you evened up your draw, right? You're basically like, oh, you've drawn 3 cards this turn. Excellent. I'm going to make you put all those away, and then we're back to square one.
We both have 7, and my card quality is better because if we both have 7 and your cards just draw you cards, we don't care about that because mine actually remove your board.
Yeah.
So I think if I have one like fear of the set 10 cards is that amethyst rich get richer.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right now.
We already see it. Like I think we talked about this a little bit before we started recording. Was we can do an entire episode on just the amethyst cards from the next set.
Yeah, sure. Purple cards are great.
It's just like it's one of those things where they're like, all right, well, I was joking with somebody and I'm like, do you feel like they maybe just did 1 million new card draw cards in amethyst just to make you have to choose which card draw you were gonna do now? Like you have to pick now. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna do the best card draw one, like
it's
Dumbo,
just Genie.
Like Genie, or like you just have to like, should I use this one or this one?
No, now I've got an item I can play.
I know, right?
Like my removal draws me cards now.
Let's do some item tech. Maybe we can grab Tamatoa back and we can bring that item back to the life and draw some more cards.
I'd love
that way.
If like Blurple shifted to like a Scrooge Tamatoa thing. I don't foresee that happening because like I feel like maybe like 6 or 7 cards change in Blurple total.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks.
Yeah,
you heard it here first. Go buy all of the Tamatoas right now. Buyout is on. Buyout is on. Go get the Tamatoas right now.
I've actually shorted Tamatoas right now, so if you do that, you make me a ton of money.
Let's do it. Right.
That's so funny.
Well, we're talking about the new
10,
set, right?
Yeah.
Let's jump into some of our spicy cards. I'll start with, Kevin, why don't you go ahead and hit us with your favorite card in the new set, or one of your favorite cards
All
in the new
right.
set?
So, if anyone has ever played a game of Lorcana against me, you know that my favorite color combination until I die is going to be Amethyst Steel.
Let's go.
And so I'm always looking at the Amethyst and Steel cards like more, with a finer comb than I do the other colors. And while I don't think that this card is the most powerful card, I think it is an indicator of better things to come with a specific keyword. And I'm talking about Rapunzel.
Nice.
Rapunzel, the Amber, that's the 2-drop legendary card.
Yeah, Rapunzel ready for adventure.
That one. And it has support, but then it also has text that says anything that has been given support, the next time it has been dealt damage, it doesn't take that damage. So that's a really interesting way to take support moving forward, because not only is it if she gives support, because she can do that, but it's anyone that gives support. So you can actually start building around this. It's a build around card that I think takes support in a brand new way. And support hasn't historically been the most sought after keyword in the game. I think most people have shied away from it, honestly, outside of like limited and like sealed formats. But
who was the 1-drop in the last set?
Basil
went burr.
The rat.
The rat came in and went burr this last set.
And they just printed a similar stat line to Basil, but
in green, I think.
Elwindry or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh
no, it's an Amber card. Yeah.
Oh, it's Amber. Okay, yeah, it was
it's a 1-drop 2/1 with support. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the princess one that does it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I think that's pretty interesting too, because does it last for that turn, or is it till your next turn, or just the very next time they would be dealt damage?
The very next time they would be dealt damage. So
just
I'll read the
general.
specific text. So it says, whenever one of your characters is chosen for support until the start of your next turn, until the start of your next turn, the next time they would be dealt damage, they take no damage instead.
See, that's really good against the steel cards, right? Because they are all damage based, and you're not going to get strength. You're not going to get what's the new Zeus? He rolls his Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, yeah. And the cards you're going to have to be concerned about are going to be Under the Sea and Spooky Sight. But you got a tool for that in Mowgli, which I think is really interesting.
Yes.
Mowgli is an awesome card.
Yes, Mowgli they took away bare necessities, which hurt us so bad. But now that we have Mowgli, man,
you two have two options, right? If you want to play Amber Sapphire, you have Ludwig, which is a crazy card.
But with Mowgli, it is your opponent's choice with Mowgli. So that is
most of the time,
right?
Yeah, within our character heavy meta right now, you're not going to be holding on to many.
True.
At the moment, that's an assumption.
Yeah, true.
But going back to Rapunzel, I think her and Tiana are just like best friends.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're not Aurora ramping out Tiana on turn 2, you could just do Aurora into Rapunzel, or your one drop like a Daisy into Rapunzel into Tiana and just have a great day.
Mm-hmm.
It's
gonna be you could play that Alice came back that gives every single character support.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Would that trigger that effect?
Yeah, everyone has support. So
if you play the Alice from hand, it would all trigger right then, and then it wouldn't recur every turn.
Because Alice says everybody gets support, but it doesn't say that everyone's chosen for support.
Chosen for support.
So what you'd have to do is you'd have to choose for support, choose for, which you could still go down the line, right? Because that's how you ultimately chain that Alice around, right? But yeah, you could definitely do some interesting things. I think when I started reading this card, I see it in a Amber Sapphire deck for sure. I think this Rapunzel just slots right into an Amber Sapphire deck. I think Amber Sapphire got some really interesting tools with this set coming up. So
I agree.
I think it's really going to be one of those where you're like, do you want to? And hey, fun fact, if you're going to build a deck around support, what feels really great is giving one of your opponent's characters support and then killing them with World's Greatest Criminal Mind, because you can.
Yeah.
And
it's just tasty.
That's just a great piece of removal that Amber has. Amber does not have a lot of removal, but that is one piece that you can definitely use to banish one of your opponent's characters pretty efficiently.
See, I was thinking about that, and then I was also thinking about giving an ally attack or strength with support, and then removing them off the board with Scar, and then drawing.
Yep. That definitely does do the thing. I think we were at what is that one up north that I was at? Frizzen. We were up at Frizzen doing the Pro Play Summit qualifier, Pro Play Summit qualifier up there at Frizzen, and Taylor was talking with the rest of the Lorcana Tiggers up there, and they were chatting about the Tinkerbell legendary from Reign of Jafar. That lets you exert a character 5 strength or more when it comes into play, and then you play Scar, and
so you get an immediate Scar value.
Immediately getting Scar value off of it right off the bat, and so I don't know. I still feel like Ruby Steel is one of those decks that just feels bad because you can just play around it really well, but it's one of those too that Maybe if you can find your ways to draw enough cards and get that big old fat Mulan down that can challenge all the ready characters, maybe you can do something with it.
I don't want to divert from too much, but I've always been so low on that Scar. And
really?
I have. I feel like the cost for his card draw it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
If you build around it, you'd be surprised what can come out and just randomly have 6. You have a 1-drop that just has 6 strength on it.
I know, but that's the thing, is that you have to set up so you have a 1-drop, so it's not super ink cost, not a high ink cost, and then you have to be able to give it the strength, and then you have to kill it.
He's
I
great.
mean, your guy has to be exerted anyway, and I'm like,
But then you have 5 cards in your hand, and you're feeling really
it's true.
good.
You're just
It's
cruising.
true. I mean, the card value out of it can be so very high, but I feel like it requires so much to set
Oh,
that
it's
up.
too slow with in a blurple format. Like you're just gonna get
Mhm.
Hades. Like, this is not living
Right.
ever.
Yeah. He's the biggest like target in
Mm-hmm.
Steel. Anyway.
Awesome. So
uh,
Rapunzel ready for adventure. Look out for that. It's a legendary. 2 cost, 1 strength, 2 willpower, quest for 1, and it has support, and then it does the proc whenever one of your characters is chosen for support until the start of your next turn. The next time they would be dealt damage, they take no damage instead. And specifically, being dealt damage means you have to be getting damage counters placed in some way, shape, or form. I was trying to look up real quick if putting damage counters, aka moving with Bell, is the same. I believe it is. Right.
Or
I don't know
new
off the top of my head, but
the new green song too, the malicious, mean, and scary, also just puts damage counters on.
right. So
yeah,
in
and
the
I
event
believe that's
that
still
this Rapunzel
dealing
locks
damage, if I recall correctly. So I'll double check that though, and I'll post it on if it's different, or we'll talk about it next week if it's different.
Sick.
Excellent. So go ahead, Sam. Let's hear about your favorite card, or one of your favorite cards from the next set.
I'm not gonna make a lot of friends with this choice, but a card I've been really high on right now. I guess it's not. I don't think it's gonna be like too good, and I don't think it's gonna be like it's gonna have the dominating performance that Blurpo's going to have with the new tools it has. But Trust in Me. It's a 6 cost song that you get to choose. You can either reduce every opponent's character's lore by 1, or your opponent discards 2 cards. And I think there's so many shift for 6 drops in those colors, Emerald Seal, that you might see some discard this next set. It's pretty easy to shift on a Max Goof. It's pretty easy to shift on a Tinkerbell. It's pretty easy to shift on, what was the other one? There was another one, the Baloo. There was another one that was in my mind's eye, but the one I'm highest on is the Max Goof, because that's the synergy with the new spell, the
Zeus
action, the Zeus, the Thunderbolts,
and Along Came Zeus. The Along Came Zeus at home.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to do some off meta stuff. The Emerald Steel this set. I don't think it's gonna work out too well, but
I want to see
I'm sick of this Amethyst Supremacy, man. I'm trying to discard that.
ready.
I don't want you to have it
I am
anymore.
ready for more discard, honestly.
Just make them
R.I.P. Bucky.
bend and trust in you at the same time.
When Blurple had its first, surge, it was like the last set champs you could play with Prince John in your deck, right? So I took that to back set champs and took first place in both. So I'm kind of still riding that high from Emerald Steel. I want to take that back. So I'm looking at that card. I think there's a lot of cool synergies in those 2 colors right now with discard. There's a lot more discard cards than you'd expect. You just don't have Prince John. So if you can survive and draw, I can definitely get rid of your hand. So be on the lookout for that. I think some people are going to be looking at it, because there's a lot of more degenerates like me who love getting rid of your hand.
Oh, so, I know.
100%.
The discard was huge in the Valley. So during Ursula's, the discard meta was real, man. And it went crazy. But the other thing I wanted to mention in that kind of vein is we were talking about Infinity earlier. I still, for the life of me, don't understand why they didn't un-errata Bucky for Infinity. Like, they should have. I don't see any reason why not.
I don't know.
Like, just let him go crazy.
Oh, there's so many shift 2s now. Let
him go nasty. Bucky crazy, go buck wild, man.
Bring him back.
Bring back Bucky.
I think you could probably discard 10 cards in a turn with that.
That'd be nuts.
Some sequence, I don't know. That'd be cool though.
That'd be cool.
I'm down if they're gonna let you do the Hiram It's just shenanigans. The Blue Steel is shenanigans.
It is nuts. And to be fair, so the one thing I wanted to say too about Infinity, every single Infinity round went to time with no less than 20 games. It was insane. There was 20 games going to time every round.
Well, I was doing some quick math. Just looking at the set, there is a way, not on play on turn 1, but there is a way to play, like, in your first 5 turns, a card that discards a card. So you go Merfolk on 1, right? On 2, you play Ursula, discard something. On 3, you can play, there's another Merfolk-like card in Anastasia. You could also, on the same turn, sing Sudden Chill with the Ursula. And then on 4, you can play Chip that discards a card. And on 5, you have 2 options in Baloo and Anna that both have a choose 1, discard a card. And on 6, you can play the Trust in Me. So if your opponent is drawing any cards, I can just get rid of them. I'm not sure if that's good. You probably don't draw cards yourself, but
that's the problem.
I was thinking, like, that's kind of
Diablo
neat that
part
I can
at the same time, right? Like that's
I definitely have a lot of ways to get rid of somebody's hands. So if that can come together in some way where I just dock and you lose, I'm gonna be playing that. It maybe Scar fits into that too. The last set champs I was at, I played a ally deck in the colors, the Emerald Steel. It played the Genie that when it's exerted, it gives every other character +2 strength. So I was doing Scar plays for 6 cards, and it was beaten up on those blue-green decks because they could not Under the Sea anything on my board. Because
everything was too strong.
I had Scar along with the Genie, so everything on my board had like 4 extra attack. At one point, they tried to do the combo, the heads held high Under the Sea, and a couple characters lived, so it was really fun.
No way.
That's insane, too.
Yeah,
You still have that combo popping off. That's wild.
So so I might try those colors. I definitely know that Amethyst is going to blow me out of the water, but, I'm going to have some fun.
Yeah, hey, you might as well. So yeah, Trust in Me, it's a 6-cost uninkable song. It is... meaning that you could have a character that has 6 cost to exert and sing the song for free, or you got Prince Naveen that can just sing it for free right out the gate. I'm still going to try to make him a relevant card because I've got like 30 of them. So
good card.
If Prince Naveen takes off, I'm making money. And then it has
I
2 options.
I got 4 foils.
Yeah, right. It has 2 options. Each opposing character gets -1 lore until the start of your next turn, or each opponent chooses and discards 2 cards, and it's a rare for the next set.
It comes out on some spicy turns too, because if you think about the ramp, like you're going first and you ramped, you're probably only going to have maybe 1 or 2, 3 cards in your hand. Like if you're
and if you can dump
hitting
both
hot,
of those,
if you're like, I'm doing a sail, then I'm doing a Genie, like you might have 3 cards in your hand, but I get 2 and maybe sing Sudden Chill.
Oof.
And a Goofy's on my, like a Max Goof is on my board.
Oof.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's kind of scary.
Goof shift would be terrifying. The Max Goof shift,
honestly,
especially with Blurple, because you're really doing nothing against that Max Goof with Blurple. At all. Like the only thing you'd have to fear would be Steel, but that's it, right?
Yeah. The one thing about Dumbo is still just really hard to deal with.
Yeah,
I think because like I can discard your hand all day, but like if you have a low on a card, or it's just that sucks. But if I can keep the Max Goof and then sing from discard the
lightning
Thunderbolts or Strength and get rid of a Dumbo, I'm gonna be happy gamer. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be
absolutely.
Gaming. I think it was really important for them to introduce a different removal song that had a guaranteed damage count, because the Strength is great and it's been a fun, versatile card. But even if they were to introduce a song that was similar vein of Let the Storm Rage On, dealing 2 damage, guaranteed 2 damage, I feel like it's one of those things that you need. Obviously, they didn't want Storm to come back because of the card draw. I think that's really strong. It's really strong.
I think both of those 3-drop songs from past sets were so strong. When they revealed that Strength was coming back, I was like, oh no.
You're like, no, it's not.
That card's so good.
They can't
keep
getting away.
It's like it's the reason aggro can stay afloat, because
it survives. It's the only reason it survives.
Yeah, it's the only card in the deck that deals with like an opposing aggro card or Genie.
Yeah.
So when they printed that, I was like, aggro resurgence coming up.
Yep. And then we got this new Zeus card or the new lightning. He hurled his lightning bolt card is going.
One thing I love about that is it's literally just the next line in the song.
They're like, we're gonna just keep on going down the song, right? Like
literally the next phrase. It's funny. I hope they keep doing that for. I think that's one way to like. When the game was very first new, like first chapter, second chapter, you're like, okay, songs are awesome, but what are you gonna do when you want to make more songs? Like, there's only so many songs you can choose from. This is so good. Like, if you just use lyrics,
Honestly.
yeah, it's so good.
Well, they've already done it with Be Prepared and then Be King Undisputed, right?
Be King
like
Undisputed.
they're
That was the
same
first time
song,
we were like,
right?
oh, they're just gonna change the lyrics, and then you have how many songs are there, and then how many stanzas are there now?
Yeah.
So.
Well, we had chapter 1, Let It Go, and then chapter 2 was Let the Storm Rage On.
Yep.
Yeah.
As well. So.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I'll go to my card now. So the card that I am just completely high on from a ramp perspective is the new Cinderella Dream Come True. She is, and I mean, likely you'll all know what I'm talking about. She's the legendary Sapphire card. It's a 4-cost, uninkable, 2 strength, 3 willpower, quest for 1, and she has whatever you wish for. At the end of your turn, if you played a princess character this turn, you may put a card from your hand into your inkwell face down to draw a card. Holy crap. This is nuts.
Bonkers.
This is nuts.
It's like a blue
Bonkers.
genie. It's awesome.
This is amazing, and I think what it does is it opens up the top end of a lot of these like rampier decks. Like for me specifically, red blue. This card tells me red blue has a chance again in a way that it hasn't had a chance all of this set, because it can unlock those really big bombs way faster, because it is a ramp with 0 penalty, right? Like usually with these Sapphire decks, you're ramping on 2. You get to play your maybe you get your Tipo on board, okay. But even then, you're pulling from your hand to ramp for it, so you're not replacing him. He doesn't feel that great. So you're kind of wanting the sail on 2, right? So you get that card draw. You can keep your tempo going. And then it just feels like you're doing absolutely nothing on that turn, which is fine, right? And you can technically still do absolutely nothing on that turn. Or you can adjust and say you want your ramp turn at a different point and maybe have a little bit earlier, extra work there. What I envision this as is turn 1 something, right? You either develop, Basil something, right? Turn 1, turn 2 you're ramping with Tipo or Sail. Turn 3 you're playing this card, ramping again up to 5 ink, right? And then you are inking to 6 the following turn. You're dropping a Maui on turn 4, right? Yeah, turn 4.
Yeah, it's your turn 4.
Yeah, your turn 4, you're dropping a Maui on the board and saying, what do you want to do now? Right? Like, and potentially, obviously you don't have any actions in the discard besides Sail and maybe a develop, but you're still kind of like just freezing the board at that point. Or we have the new 6-cost that came out with this set, which was the Prince Hans that comes down and says that if your opponent has 2 readied characters on board, you gain 2 lore. So you're like, oh, I'm going to drop a big bomb. And if you're an aggro deck that's saying, oh, I don't want to quest right now, okay, I'm just going to gain 2 lore for free then. And you're going to sit there and have a bunch of decisions to make. And then I'm also going to access the rest of my big arsenal a lot faster as well. So I feel like it has this opportunity to really kind of jump in and take over games early on. I think red blue still suffers significantly with lack of card draw. I think you just don't have it like you do with our all-star of the show, Amethyst.
I do like in that sequence that the problem with Maui Shark in the past was it just was Hades food, right? You just put it on the board, and
right.
Next turn it just gets Hades every time. Every single time I played a Maui Shark, it got Hades. That said it was good, right? But this allows you to play the Maui Shark a turn before the Hades can even. They're not even going to be at 6 ink, so you have a Maui Shark and then actually gain you value before Hades can touch it, and I think that's going to be really strong. The only problem I have with that is they can counter it pretty easily just by playing another Sail. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely keep on ramping. And the other thing that I was thinking about with this too is this, to me, unlocks the question. And to me, I don't know the answer to this because I'm not that good of a gamer. But it asks the question, how essential is ramp on 2? Versus saying, I'm going to skip ramping on 2. I'm going to play a different character on 2.
It depends on your 4-drop. I think if you're going to go into a Cindy, you definitely always ramp on 2.
That's fair.
But just because it costs 4.
But no, I'm saying like from
Right.
a perspective of if you only want a single ramp in a game,
Oh, right.
does it need to be on 2? Does it
Correct.
Or do you
Yeah.
just skip off that and just say I'm going to use Cindy because she's, in my opinion, she's the better ramp card, right? Like you're
Well, you know what's going to
replacing
feel
it?
so bad is when they sail Cindy,
Mhm.
and you couldn't
Oh,
answer
yeah.
the first Cindy. It's going to be 2
just
cards off
keep
the
on
top of your
going.
deck,
Yep.
ramps, draw 2.
Which actually, if you
So you're
try
going to
to
be at 8.
if you try to
on
pair
5.
princess characters too with this, you could actually get pretty nuts card draw out of it, right?
Yeah.
Because as long as you're, and I mean, it's not necessarily card draw. It's still, you're still losing a card to be able to draw the card.
It's
Yeah,
replacing
you got to
them.
be careful because if you ink your entire deck, you can't draw anything. So
Yeah, right.
Ah,
But you could, I mean, you could easily. You don't even have to necessarily play a Cinderella the follow up turn, right? You could play a couple of other princess characters and get a little spicy with it and have some fun there. So I don't know. I think it's a really exciting card. I think it's just an insane ability, and I think it's insane that, like, I feel like this card would have been better if it was a Duel Link card where it was like red blue specific.
yeah,
I feel
I
like
think that's a fair assessment too.
'Cause
What
I
I
feel
do,
like
what I'm
giving
excited for with the card most though is that it opens up things that aren't exactly blurple, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be best in decks that are not Amethyst. So it's going to elevate things like the blue-green deck. It's going to love this card.
or heck, it's gonna. I mean, I think the Amber Sapphire as well.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Amber Sapphire is going to love this card. Any deck that you know played Sapphire and outside of Amethyst cards is going to love this card. It's just going to be free for them because it ramps you more and draws you the card, which Amethyst doesn't have that problem. Like if I have to choose between a Cinderella and a Genie, I'm probably just going to play the Genie because my card quality is amazing from that point out. Like I'm going to go Genie, then I'm going to have like the new. There's like 3 different 5-drops in Amethyst in the new set alone that are as good, if not better, than Elsa. So
wow.
it kind of
Yeah.
She's
It's
broken.
better than-
like in that
What's better
deck,
than
I'm like,
Sail?
I don't know if I want to play Cinderella, but in the blue-green deck, I'm playing Cinderella every game of my life. Like,
Well,
that's just
and
happening.
to that point, I didn't even think about that from that perspective because, you know, I thought like, oh, this is just another insane card that Blurple has access to. But to your point, are you really going to cut your genies to throw this in? Probably not. Like I don't.
No,
see the reason why
in
you
my
would.
opinion, the Cinderella works best as a Genie for another color.
Yeah.
Because it does the same thing-ish, right? It's your good 4-drop that draws you a card. This one also happens to ink, which is also super sweet.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
And I mean, it's important to know. I know we've kind of already been alluding to this, but Cinderella is a princess character, so it works for her when you play her as well. So when you play Cinderella, you can just go ahead and ink and draw a card as well. And it, you know, put a card from your hand into your inkwell does not mean ink an inkable card. This means this can be an uninkable card as well. So you can put whatever you want down into your inkwell because it is not being required to be shown to your opponent in any way, shape, or form. And it's also going into your inkwell face down and not exerted. So you can use it that turn too. You can go ahead and
No,
play her, ink,
no, because
develop.
well, her effect takes place at the end of your turn.
Oh, it's
so
your,
you can't use
Oh,
it.
okay, got it.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, at the end of your turn.
It's not
a
another
princess character.
quill to play Popsicle. It's like,
No.
That would be
Oh,
dope.
boy,
that would
no.
be pretty. That would be pretty
Yeah.
wild. I was thinking about that. For
I
a
don't
second.
need that
was
coming
like, oh.
back, to be honest. That one was a
No,
little
no.
just-
Coincidentally, I think it's the enchanted that I like the least out of this set because the Cinderella.
What's the one you like the most? Question.
I think it's good, but like, I guess the enchanted. Which one do we like the most? I don't know.
Yeah, which one do you guys like the most of the new Enchanted?
Ooh.
I have 2 picks.
I have one.
Right.
I think I have one. I'm pretty sure I know my favorite at this point. So my
The easy,
think
cool one is Goliath, right? That card just looks
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I mean, like I feel like Goliath is one of those that like if I pull that, it's not going to get dealt. It's going to be that's going to be in a collection for sure.
Yeah.
But for me,
My-
it's the Headless Horseman, bar none.
Yeah.
a cool
Oh,
one.
that's nice too.
It's a
I forgot
cool one.
about that one. That one's
bar
cool.
none. That's
I think
it sucks that
the
it's
one that
after
speaks to
Halloween.
me the most randomly is the Lady Tremaine. That card looks awesome.
It does
With,
look
like, it's
amazing.
like-
Okay.
It just has the deep red. It looks so sinister. I think it's perfect for that character. I'm like, that card's awesome.
I think my
Beautiful.
favorite one is...
I love the new gold stamping too. It's gonna make these new enchants look
yeah.
so good.
No, my
Okay,
chase
cool.
card's going to be the Black Cauldron.
Ooh,
It's
the
so
black
good.
cauldron.
We were trying in my friend group. We were trying to break that card, and I don't think it's possible.
Dude, It's so close to being broken.
It's almost
like-
there, but the fact it's just too slow. Like, if
Listen,
you could play it
yes.
and activate the thing, like, if you could do both effects in the same turn, it would be good. Because you have to play it, then tap it to put thing under, and then tap it again to play the thing. I don't know. I think just draw it any other way is probably better than the discard card. But, like,
Well,
I want
think
Black Cauldron to be so good.
I think a really interesting way to play that card would be to play it with Judy Hops, because you can just like play the Cauldron and then tap and put something, and then tap and put something, and then play Judy Hops and ink all three, and have a great day.
Well, my second thought with that too was, I don't know, did you guys see that deck? It was very early on, maybe chapter 2, where it was whole new world, play 7 guys, whole new world, play 7 guys. Like, it was just I just play my whole hand every time I play whole new world. I think that Black Cauldron could almost be another whole new world for that kind of deck, where you're like Rockstar Stitch and you're like, and then get them all back when they get removed, and then
and play them all again.
Yeah.
The one thing
It'd
that
be
I
kind of
thought,
cool where, like, every turn you're putting one under it, so eventually when your board gets wiped, the next turn you just put all these little guys back on the board.
Yeah,
and it's even better when you've got targets like Daisy Duck and
100%.
like Ludwig. I don't know. Pretty good.
No, what I was thinking that they should have done, I don't know. This is more into the, like, I don't know why they didn't do this realm of Ravensburger design choices. Like, why in the world are the Cauldron-born characters super huge? I feel like Cauldron-born should have been like a Chernobog followers, right? Like like a 2-1.
Well, I was looking at this, like, they're backwards, right? The Horned King's a 1-drop, and then the Cauldron-born's a 6-drop or a 5-drop, right?
So why not do the Cauldron-born be like a 1-drop, right? Like, and let's say it's a 2-1, like a 1-drop 2-1. Let's make it uninkable for the purpose of maybe keeping it balanced. But what I would say is this: the flavor text on, or not the flavor text, but the ability that's attached, that's stamped on the Cauldron-born, could be, if you used the Cauldron to play this card, play it for free. So then you have a Cauldron-born that's just a little, I'm going to do some dink and dunking body that you can chuck on board, and you can play it essentially for free when you tap the Cauldron. And so
I'm phoning Ravensburger right now. I'm like writing a letter.
Like, well, guys, come on, you missed the spot.
I think it'd be awesome if they had like multiple different cards that were kind of like varying degrees of strength, but kind of smaller bodies, but then given it a tag as being you're a Cauldron-born tag card, and just go from there.
That'd be sweet too.
That would be so cool.
I'm surprised they didn't do that, because, like, Ravensburger made, I don't know if you guys play Villainous, but Ravensburger had an entire deck based around Cauldron-born stuff. Like, they're not strangers to this idea.
No.
So
I felt like that was a miss.
I think you guys are on the right track.
I felt like that was a miss where they could have just had this really cool character, or to your point,
like a
maybe
whole
even
archetype,
like a collection of characters
Yeah.
that are just like little, and that's what they're meant to be. They're undead soldiers, right? And
like, it could have been the secondary theme to detective, right? You could have had like detectives going this direction, Cauldron-born going over here.
Yeah,
that'd been cool.
I thought that would have been really cool.
Maybe next set.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they bring out more Cauldron-borns, but I just feel like that's what the Black Cauldron missed, was like an ability to play a character from the Black Cauldron for free, because that's the challenge that I think a lot of people missed with the Black Cauldron was, you tap it, pay 1 ink, and then you can play those characters, but you still have to pay ink for them as you play them. So, like, you have a 1 cost in there, you still have to pay, like, you put a 7 cost under there, but do you have 7 ink to play it? I don't know. So that's the challenge with the Black Cauldron there. And it just feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel as, I guess, canonically appropriate for the card. Like, I feel like the Black Cauldron's goal was like, I'm going to resurrect people, and it's basically full free, right? Like, but now it's like, oh no, you're resurrected, because it would have been too strong if you were like, just activate it and then play everything under it for free.
You just play whatever.
Just dump it's like 30 cards.
The circle of life is a scene together, 9 or something? And it's like,
I think it's an 8.
This is just a 3-drop item. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, right.
No, we were like, when we were trying to like think of ways it could be broken, our first thought was like, oh, you get your bombs back. But then we were like, oh, we're in a meta where Hades exists. You just don't have anything in discard pile.
But
like, I was like,
But is Hades going to be as popular now when you have so many people playing Whispers, and you can just dump 5 boost cards under it and say, go ahead and ramp me a ton with Hades?
I think so.
You think he's still there?
I think Yeah, I still
here.
think he's like the best removal.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's good removal, but I feel like that's the only way to counter it is just to say, I don't want this card to go anywhere. So I'm just going to put a
Right,
bunch
you
of
just like
cards
boost.
underneath it.
But what's the best boost for that situation though? I don't know. Boosting is kind of.
That's a solid question. I couldn't tell you.
I haven't found a boost card that I'm like, oh, I'm putting that in my deck.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that Cheshire Cat has
Ooh, no,
somewhat
Cheshire
in
Cat.
places.
He's
I'm looking
huge.
at it. I need to see this.
Yeah, Cheshire
Cheshire
Cat
Cat
is Bell, but better.
Thick.
It is
Mhm.
a better
Oh,
Bell.
this guy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think of all the boost cards, I'm excited for that one the most, and I'm excited for Simba for the flavor second.
Yeah.
The Simba is so cool. It'll never happen. You'll see that happen. You're gonna have the biggest pop off of your life, and then they'll never see it again. But one of the boost cards I think is like interesting outside of Cheshire Cat. I guess I have two. I have two. One is the Ursula.
Okay.
The 5-drop Ursula. She's boost 1, and she gains 1 more lore and evasive.
That's huge.
The other one is the Robin Hood from Steel, just because it's cheap.
Yes.
It's a 4-drop
Yes.
inkable,
Just
and
plink
the
damage.
boosting is cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, and you place 2 damage counters.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Those are all pretty.
And it can even place it on itself, and then you can play. There's a card that returns damage characters to the hand, so you boost onto it.
And then draw.
Maybe over a couple turns, you boost onto it, right?
Yeah.
You deal the damage to itself and play that card, and then you get the boosted cards back. It's like card draw.
Right. That was the other reason that I thought boost was really important because I feel like it unlocks card draw for a lot of people, albeit it's a very niche way to
It's
do it.
very convoluted, but
But, it's one of those that you might be able to get it back with, Emerald Chromacon, right? You can target your own stuff, right? So
personally, I want boost cards to be in every deck. I feel like there should be a restriction, like you have to play a boost card, but you can't do that. And that's just because I don't think they're strong enough to be in like a blur ball, But I hope everybody's playing them. Personally, I like to see the new cards be played.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But in a world where do you guys have a pick for what you think the strongest card? Like we all picked our favorite cards, but you guys have a strongest card in the set?
I think everybody is really leaning on the Demona. It's just
Demona's
super wild to be able to exert.
Has
your
pretty
entire
good
opponent.
text, right? Just because it has the draw on it.
Yeah.
I actually think, personally, I think the card you'll see the most play is the Hades, where they get to choose to put it on bottom or I draw 2 cards. Both choices are perfect for me. I don't care. That's the best 5-drop in my deck, easily.
So what does it say though that the first 2 cards that we thought of that were the best cards in the set are
Or
what color?
Amethyst.
Yeah.
They're this color. They're amethyst.
It's no secret. Like they got so many 5-drops. You got Demona, you got the Hades, you got the Ursula. Like you're just playing
got
a good
Elsa.
5-drop. Yeah, and that was already the most oppressive card in the game.
It's wild.
Dude.
But I think Amethyst is gonna pop off.
Yeah.
And I had another question for you guys. Do you think aggro will be played to the level it's going to play with the spooky sites in the format?
It makes me very afraid.
I think spooky sites definitely. It's one of those cards that I think was a necessity. It needed to be here.
I think I have. I don't know if I'm going to be hounded for this, but I have a hot take on. I think that card's text is terrible. Like you're giving your opponent far too many resources for what it does and costs. However, it's the only way to actually beat aggro consistently. So I think if aggro is just in the format and is being oppressive, like that new Mickey Mouse is just so gross with the Tiana combo already. Like if aggro is up there, you're just gonna have to play. It's gonna be the worst card in your deck against anything that's not aggro, but you're gonna have to play it
Because
you're not gonna play it against.
You don't want to see in any other matchup, right?
It's far worse than a Be Prepared. It's far worse than an Under the Sea.
It would be
Because,
probably the best
You
side deck.
cannot play it. You just cannot play it against something that's not exactly aggro. Because if you give that much ink to your opponent, you're not winning.
Right.
And if you give that much ink to aggro, they're like, okay, I play one guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I play one guy. Okay, I play one guy.
Yeah, unless you can somehow draw cards, it's not going to matter. And I mean, you might see with that, you might see the tech of the aggro flip to amber amethyst so that they can play the Chromacon and just draw, right? Because they're going to let you draw, and then they're going to draw, but they're going to at least be able to play 2 characters every turn, right? At that point.
Well, I think it's going to be like this weird game of chicken. in the format where like somebody's gonna gamble on them. Nobody's gonna play aggro at this event, so I'm not putting spooky sights in my deck. And then all of a sudden, that deck does the best at that event. I think that situation's gonna happen, where you're gonna have this weird game of chicken, where like, okay, I'm gonna play aggro because I don't think anybody's gonna play it right now, just because the last event nobody did.
Right.
So,
Right.
you're gonna have these weird, like aggro does well at this event, and then doesn't do well because it did well the last event. So, I think that's gonna kind of be cyclical.
And I mean,
But
aggro
it's gonna
still
be
has
interesting
some
to see.
counterplay.
Mhm.
I mean, referring back to, we still have Mowgli, and we still have Pete. Pete's still around.
Yeah.
So we do have a little bit of counterplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
Then-
Pete, honestly, this is one of those cards that's like, hey, Pete, time for you to earn your money, right? Like, that was the one thing that I mentioned to a bunch of people is like, Pete actually, I think he got the most negatively impacted when we saw like B Prep and a bunch of other cards not get
Rotation.
reprinted.
Yeah, the rotation definitely hurt Pete. You were like, what do I Pete?
Yeah, it was like,
What
what
card
am
is
I
worth
going to
Pete?
use to target for Pete? And like,
But then blue-green came around. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, I put Pete in my deck.
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
blue green came around, and then also, I mean, you found those
Wow, and that-
situational like the Pete battles between any steel decks was just insane to watch because you'd be like, oh, I'm going to play Pete on 3, and now you can't sing strength on me, so good luck.
And then I get the first strength of the game unless you Pete too.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Unless we Pete, repeat.
Pete, repeat.
It's the repeat.
The
Yeah.
repeat.
Old Amethyst Steel, how wonderful.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I remember playing that against my son, and I built the deck for him. I built him the bouncy Amethyst Steel deck with all the Madam Mim and whatnot. And I'm over here just, I'm cool. I'm an adult. I'm teaching him how to play. He's 9. He can't play. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm like, yeah. So loot this deck. You're gonna want to do this. He's like, I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. He gets into it. Pete on 3. Bounces it back, plays it again the next turn, bounces it back, plays it again the next. Just
He knew
keeps
what he
on
was
playing
doing.
Pete, and I'm playing blue. I'm playing red blue, and I'm like, I can't play the game right now.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
he just crushed me, man. I was just like, all right,
He did
well,
his assignment.
yeah, it was good stuff. But yeah, it's nice to see something like this come back. Give Pete a job to do. So
Yeah, absolutely. But then you're just gonna have to deal with the likes of Demona or Hades.
Yeah.
yeah, Demona's
It's gonna feel
wild,
bad.
man. Like I just
Demona has
exerting
some
your
crazy
whole
text
board
on
is
it, too.
wild. That is just nuts.
I think Demona fundamentally changes how you play Amethyst, honestly.
But in Blurple specifically, if we're going to talk about Blurple cards, get richer, right?
Yeah.
In Blurple specifically, Demona does not do a whole lot because you don't have enough. Like, it's going to be Basil or bust, right? On Demona being worth it. Otherwise, it's just a worse Elsa. So I think that's where Hades becomes just like a better card, because on 5 I have either Elsa, which gets rid of your biggest threat, or Hades, which I target your biggest threat, and you probably can't say yes to putting it on the bottom, so you give me 2 cards. It's like a really good trade.
It also just assumes that when you have 6 ink, you have a board developed, right? Like you have to have something developed for Demona to be valuable. Because if you play
It's going to be
that, you don't
super
have
good in
something.
that Amethyst Steel deck, though.
Yeah.
Where you just
I
like
think
play
that's what
5
happened.
guys, and then you just slap a Demona on the board.
Yeah, and then you're like, I'm challenging.
And then you draw to
everything,
3.
right? Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it could be
she's
interesting.
gross.
I actually think it could be interesting. Maybe Ruby Amethyst too. Or like, there's a lot more bodies that you're working with in Ruby Amethyst as well.
Yeah,
Removing
it's
damage.
getting closer. I think it's just this close. If it had Brawl, it'd be pretty
Gosh,
good.
Brawl, I miss so bad. Such a fair card. It was such a fair card.
Brawl was a
Everything
fair
about-
card, but
It was so fair
if you
because
think,
it just sucked.
like,
To
the
play it
reason
on
Tiana
three.
was never a card to begin with was because of
It
Brawl.
was Brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
It was
prevented
far
so
too
many
easy
cards
to
from
just
even
I
seeing the
don't
day.
care about that.
Yeah. It just felt good that it was a card you had to play and you had to take a turn off basically. Like there was nothing else you were doing besides brawling something. And so
Well, I mean, it just goes back to that meme that was around in set 3 with Ursula, I think. Or is that set 4? And it was like, does it survive Medusa? And everyone just responded with, oh, it's a new card, and then slapped the Medusa face on it and being like, does it survive?
it doesn't survive Medusa. Yeah, that was funny. I remember talking to people so many times and like, oh, has I got 3 strength? Then yeah, you don't want that card anymore. That's a
Well,
garbage card.
it's funny that we all said that, but still Robin Hood just terrorized that format.
Dude, Robin Hood
I
was
love
just
Robin
nuts,
Hood.
man. He was such a good shift target there.
But speaking on Ruby Amethyst, I think it's like so close. It's always one turn away. It's like one turn behind being good every time I've played that deck or tried to play that deck.
Yep.
It's like every deck just outpaces you by one turn, and you just feel constantly. It's like a whole syndrome with the deck. You're like, oh, if I just had one more ink. Oh, if I just had one more turn. It's so bad. But if you get more tools, maybe like the Demona might carry it over at the top because Sisu's actually a pretty good card right now. There's a lot of one strength characters that do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cece's pretty good, honestly.
That's fair.
She keeps a couple of deck strategies in check.
I didn't even think about that, Sisu, with the...
It's really good against aggro. Like, you just dominate that matchup, but...
it's just red's just such a anemic color in the format. Ruby's just not used in the format at all right now, and so I'm hoping...
That's the problem. Is like, the color you want to pair it with most is amethyst, but every other color... Like, the steel and the sapphire are just, like, better colors right now for the amethyst cards.
Yeah.
And they also offer, like, better things, like... Sapphire offers Hades, and Steel offers strength, and now a new, better strength in the form of, like, you're just going to have your genie sing the Thunderbolts card, and it's going to feel really bad. But if you're a Ruby Amethyst player, you're like, I wish I had cards. I have Maui Shard.
Like, I just want to draw cards, that's all. I just need a little bit
I get to draw my cards, but I'm late to the party because you've played all of these really high value cards like Calhoun, and I just have the Sisu.
Yeah.
So it's like red cards are like low quality right now. Mm-hmm. It makes me sad. I love that color a lot.
I know.
Like they tried with the power line stuff, but there's not enough good songs yet.
Well, and it just can't. You can't get power line to stick either. He just completely lightning rods just gone quickly, and then I mean it's crazy cannon. when it spirals. Like when you get a power line to pop off and hit multiple songs, and you know, like, or you hit like a down
in a couple more sets, like right before the next rotation. I think there's going to be a power line deck just because like the song quality is going to be higher inherently.
Yeah,
like they'll print songs every set, so maybe there's going to be this pop off like the the Dino acronym down in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
I know. You'll have like a Dino power line deck that just goes crazy.
A Dino power line. Yeah, that'd be pretty dope. I like it.
Be cool.
Awesome. Well, I think we kind of covered everything that we wanted to cover on this episode. I think we did everything and more. So I'm pretty sure we can just wrap there unless you guys had anything else you wanted to jump into that.
I think I got most of what I wanted to say off my chest.
Excellent. What about you, Kevin? Anything else?
No. Just thanks to anyone who's watching. We appreciate you guys, and if there's any feedback that you have for us, make sure to send us some comments.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do. We'll try to do some live episodes here coming up. We'll give folks a chance to join and ask questions and whatnot, and hit up the experts on the panel here, and hopefully we can get some special guests. Right, I know we got the local team, the Lorcana Tigers. Hopefully we can get a couple of those guys to jump on.
Yeah.
And, get a few of the local legends. We got Mr. Mickey himself, Taylor, and obviously the always intimidating to play Anthony Ekaroth. And
the final boss.
Yeah, the final boss.
My favorite nickname.
As he is called, the final boss.
Yeah, final boss.
Awesome, cool. Well, with that being said, this is the first episode of the Lore Lowdown from the Lorcana Beehive, and thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.